Welcome back, everyone. We just got back from a viewing.
Yeah, we did.
We did
A
We
viewing,
did.
not of a dead body.
No, not like
Right.
somebody died viewing.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
no, a viewing of a film, because that's what we do for this
A film.
That's what we do for this channel,
Mm-hmm.
mainly for ourselves. But some people sometimes listen or watch or both.
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is. However, I'm pretty excited about this. I had a chance to see this a week ago. Finally got together so we can get Randy in on this.
Yeah.
So we could.
I've been busy.
He's been busy. He's a filmmaker. What can you do? But we went and saw Sinners.
There are legends of people with the gift of making music so true. It can conjure spirits from the past and the future. This gift can bring fame and fortune.
Will somebody take me in your eyes?
But it also can pierce the veil between life and death.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Coogler's new film.
Freddy Krueger? What?
Not Freddy Krueger. Ryan Coogler.
Coogler.
Get it right. Ryan Coogler, who is a filmmaker not known for horror movies at all. He's done Fruitvale Station with Michael B. Jordan as well. Black Panther, Creed, which he also not the band, which he also did with Michael B. This is his fourth time working with Michael B. Jordan, and I would argue that this is probably their best outing so far.
I like this movie.
Yeah.
You know, you said something on the way home. This was almost like a Vampire the Musical, type of thing.
Yeah. Music plays a massive role in the film.
I love the blues in this movie.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It's unique. It's amazing. It's done very well. I think calling this a horror film or a vampire film just outright is kind of doing it a little bit of a disservice, because I don't think it really covers the film as a whole. Very unique experience. It's definitely an experience. It's not just a movie. It is definitely an experience.
There's other vampire films and non-vampire films that I really want to compare it to, but I think if I do that, I'm going to be giving away some things. So let's just do a general review of the film, then we'll dive into the plot and everything.
We're going to give you a short little spoiler-free review that we've already started, and then we will warn you when we start to go into spoiler territory. So, Sinners. Ryan Coogler's new movie, set in 1932 in the Mississippi Delta, I believe, is the area they used. So we've got kind of a period flick going on. Stacked cast. We've got Michael B. Jordan ×2.
You twins? Nah, we cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Haley Steinfeld. Delroy Linda.
Haley Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld?
Steinfeld.
Oh, Steinfeld.
Steinfeld.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
More to list. Miles.
Davis.
No. Wrong. Miles Canton. No, I'm not. Canton? Or Canton?
Caton. It's C-A-T. Cat. O-N. Caton.
Miles Caton. Jack O'Connell as our wonderful vampire leader.
Yes, I thought he was great. I thought he was a great vampire.
Amazing.
He's got this Irish thing. His Irish accent sounded so good, I thought he was actually Irish.
Yeah, because he is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
There you have it.
There you go. He's hell of an actor.
Yeah, fantastic. Music plays a huge role in this.
Yes.
Obviously, blues is the shining focus, but there's lots of different cultural musical references and uses in this film, which is a big part of it. Let's talk about a couple things that we enjoyed from the movies. Real quick, before we go into spoiler territory, as I mentioned, I enjoyed all of the actors, and I also enjoyed all the characters. Somebody said to me that they thought the characters were shallow. The characterization was, and I'd have to really disagree with that. I thought we spent a good chunk of time with the characters.
We did.
Cared about the characters. They
We
all
did.
had their own backstories, things going on. None of them are really throwaways. So
Right. I like the characters.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought they were fleshed out.
I would urge anyone that's a fan of cinema in general to go check out Sinners if you haven't already. It's made an absolute killing at the box office.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. It's made like 160 some million on its second weekend run, which is huge.
That is huge.
Not only is it a good haul, but it's really big because it's an original story, original script, original IP. It's not a continuation of some superhero, which, don't get me wrong, I love superheroes. It's not a remake, which Hollywood can't get enough of.
Yeah, well,
there's not a continuation of something, bringing in legacy characters that we forgot about 10 sequels later.
Oh yeah,
so it's I think it's a really big deal that we are getting fresh new stories, and I think it's really important that a filmmaker of Coogler's status in Hollywood had the balls to make a horror film.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. And what I really like about the film is we do get to see the characters and that character development before the shit hits the fan. So when the shit hits the fan, we care about those characters.
We do.
Yeah. And a lot of horror films, I mean, you watch a Friday the 13th movie,
I think
you're getting cannon fodder.
Of course. I mean, there's a give and take with horror. Obviously, horror's major weakness has always been characterization. Part of that is because that's kind of the way it is a lot of times in the genre, but also part of that is because a lot of horror stories, slashers specifically, which makes up a huge chunk of the genre itself, do not call for characterization, nor are we hurting if we're missing a lot of that either. So it's kind of a give and take. But nonetheless, it never fails that adding in good characterization will save a horror film every single time.
I agree.
Before we talk any more about that shit hitting the fan, I think we're going to go ahead and warn you guys. That's pretty much the end of our spoiler-free portion of the review. We highly recommend you go check it out. I absolutely loved it. It sounds like Randy here also enjoyed it.
It was a good film. It's well written.
So if you haven't seen it yet, run out, see it. If you have seen it, heck, go see it again. Why not? Go enjoy the movies for once. Go enjoy and support original stories. And support Hollywood when they actually give us good films.
Yeah.
There it is. Warning. We're going to move into spoiler territory. So this is the part where if you haven't seen the film, if you like spoilers, keep on watching, I guess. If not, maybe pause, go watch, then come back and watch the rest of it, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start with the thing that everyone can agree upon. Michael B. Jordan killed the fucking KKK at the end of this movie. There you go. Michael B. Jordan killed the KKK at the end of this film. There's reason enough to go see it.
I mean, if
he killed the fuck out of it.
If not, he point blank emptied most of
the Thompson submachine gun
of the Tommy gun into a KKK member. I mean, if there is one thing that can bring the masses together, I think it's watching a KKK member get shot to shit.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't want to see that? Maybe other KKK members, but fuck them.
Probably not.
So,
Fuck them.
I think one of the things I love about this movie the most, since we're talking about the KKK member getting shot, is this is obviously a heavily culturally influenced film.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But it's so well done, and it's important to not only the African-American culture, but I think everybody in general, because it's something that everyone can get in and watch and enjoy and pull something out of, maybe even learn a little bit of. It's such a wonderful, unique, creative, and true to the roots story happening in the 1930s in the Mississippi Delta. There's so many aspects to cover.
There is.
Musically, obviously, the blues plays a huge role. The music is a character in itself.
Yeah.
That we talked earlier, that this movie is almost a musical in the sense it has so much music in it, but there are literal musical performances from the characters within the film
Yes.
that somehow work.
Yeah.
Like if I was to tell you there's an Irish vampire and he's gonna sing an old Irish song and dance to it,
a jig. He's dancing a jig.
he's
right?
dancing, but does that you're like in a horror movie, right? Yes.
Yes.
Well, that sounds stupid. Yeah, technically on paper
it does, but it was so fucking cool.
But it was so good.
It was.
My favorite musical part of the film, obviously, which is probably being talked about by everybody because it was such a huge deal. And reading into this, it took them a really long time to set up the whole sequence because they tried to make it one continuous shot. Obviously, they didn't, but it took months for them to all set up and reverse.
Right, you talking about the Macho Man Randy Savage with the guitar?
I believe that was supposed to be like kind of like Jimi Hendrix, but that whole sequence when they call him Preacher Boy Sammy in the film starts plays for the first time at the juke joint. It bleeds into this cultural, spiritual, past, present, future celebration of music. And not only is it for the African music in there, they throw in Asian heritage in there with the couple that's there, which is like another layer of immigration at the time and things like that. But that whole sequence was so unique and cool, and it's crazy the melting pot they used to throw all that music together. I mean, literally, we're just dumping things all together, and somehow it sounded beautiful. It was hard to see it in the theater we were in, but the first time when I went and saw it, there was a lot of people in the theater. I noticed everybody I could see. You could see everybody's feet bouncing to the rhythm of the music, and that was a really cool. It's a really cool experience to see a film have the whole audience together.
Yeah,
and I think that's really unique.
I was tapping my feet.
Oh yeah.
You probably saw.
I did. There's only a couple people I could look at, but it's not like I have a foot fetish or anything for your feet. Oh yeah, music, big deal.
The blues was so good.
Oh, it's so good.
I mean, it was on point.
Really,
I've been to jazz clubs, I've been to blues clubs and everything. If anyone in the audience has been to a blues or a jazz club, you know exactly how it makes you feel.
Oh yeah.
And this movie takes you there. It transcends time.
It does. Yeah.
And
absolutely.
It's
absolutely. And the guy that plays Sammy is wonderful voice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I picked out was the sequence where he's in the car with Stax. I think the audience is just as shocked as Stack's character is when he starts playing and singing. That was a really unique and cool thing for the movie, because not very often are you reacting like that along with a character in a movie that's not a shock and awe moment. That's not built in to be a huge surprise or a big gross out moment or something like that. Yeah,
and that was definitely. Stax was in shock and awe.
Yeah.
That was a wonderful scene. Just driving in the car, going through the cotton field.
Yeah. I think I think something that after seeing it a second viewing that I enjoy most about this is the quiet times throughout the film. Pacing is wonderful. There's nothing wrong with the pacing or tone at all. It's just there's bits and pieces of quiet moments with characters and stuff like that, and I enjoy all of those quiet moments, all of those conversation pieces, just as much as I enjoy all the cool stuff happening and everything like that. It's just the characters are very rich,
down to earth. They're, especially when they're when what's her name said you stuck your tongue in my
gosh. Hey, Stockfield. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever blushed at a film before. Watching something,
Yeah.
But I have never felt that uncomfortable hearing a line of dialogue. And I'm not the only one. It's been all over. It's been all over social media and Facebook.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just people are like, "Oh, I can't believe she just said that." And his reaction to that also is,
in the watching it in the theater.
Yeah.
When that came up, I'm like,
"Oh,
okay, she really said that."
wow,
Okay.
all right." While we're on the subject of women in the film, I thought it was unique and excellent to see Hollywood flipped and cast an actress for a character that goes against the grain of the Hollywood norms of beauty and everything like that. Smokes, not really his wife, his woman, the mother of his child, which is unfortunately dead, which was a horrible, horrible thing, and even adds even more to his and her storyline. But she's just a bigger built woman. She's not the picturesque Hollywood actress type, and in no way is that taken away from her beauty. It's just fresh and unique to actually see that. I would like to see more of that, and I'm not saying that because I'm fat myself. All right, okay, maybe a little bit. I'm not saying I want to get screen fucked by Michael B. Jordan. I'm just saying that it was nice to see Hollywood go against the grain. Anyway, it's nice to see not only a character but a main character be cast with an actress like that. Not only that, I felt like her character really carried a special spiritual load for. I knew you were going to laugh at the minute I said load, and I hate that I said it. And I was so focused on trying not to laugh myself. I mean, she got a load.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
she got staked in the heart.
Oh gosh, yeah. That was horrible. They don't really portray her character to be. The first word that comes to mind is voodoo. But that old Mississippi, Louisiana kind of Creole magic. They don't make it outright like you would normally see in, a film dealing with that type of thing. But she is somewhat tapped into that and obviously practices a little bit. So it kind of brought another aspect of kind of a folk horror aspect and spirituality into it and gave that meaning.
Right.
And then she was kind of the voice of reason, and kind of was the whole reason anybody got on board with, oh, fuck, they're vampires.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, at this point in time, they knew about vampires. 1932. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's a throwback to The Thing in this movie, which was fucking great.
It was great. It's
really
short
great.
and sweet, but
it was.
They all it was definitely anybody who's seen The Thing is going to be like, yep, that's exactly what that is. They all eat a clove of garlic to make sure they're all
human.
Human.
Yeah. And Delroy Lindo when he shot himself.
Yo, it's my only thing. I think I shot myself.
Delroy Lindo. Let's talk about Delroy for a moment. A wonderful actor.
I love
always
everything he's done.
Yeah,
He's
I think you said it best.
Actor.
It's like anytime you see him show up on film, in a movie, it's going to be fantastic. And he's such a wonderful actor. And in this movie, he definitely carried the weight of having that slight comical relief, which was just enough. They did it just right.
It wasn't over the top.
It just kind of broke up.
Until he shot himself. Just his delivering that line. Yeah, when he showed up at the train station, that was fucking awesome. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, and he has a unique, heartfelt, sad monologue about his friends and everything. And that was really, really well done, even though, again, it's a small part of the film, but it's those little moments, I think, that make it really great.
And if the dialogue didn't flesh him out enough, the character actors playing those characters fleshed them out.
I think so.
So, my hat's off to all the actors in this film.
Absolutely. And again, this movie's, not every movie is for everybody. I find it hard that there's not something about this film for everybody to enjoy.
Right.
Because it's just a wonderful piece of cinema that I think transcends so many different genres that I think it's an important film for people to see.
Here's something that I want to say about the film. And I want to compare it for a second to 30 Days of Night.
Mm.
Okay. 30 Days of Night, I love the build-up to the vampires showing up. And when the vampires show up in 30 Days of Night, to me, the film falls apart after that. It's just boring, same old, same old. This is a different build-up to the vampires showing up. Different, totally different. I love it though. I love it because it and we talked about From Dusk Till Dawn. It is that kind of a build-up.
Yeah, and it's impossible not to make some of those connections,
right.
But it completely separates itself from any of those.
But in this, when the vampires show up, it doesn't fall apart at all. It is strong.
No.
It becomes Demon Night. It becomes John Carpenter's vampires. It becomes it becomes From Dusk Till Dawn, and it's just there is that sense of dread when they're there.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you feel it in every frame of the film. It's a masterpiece of tension.
Yeah,
So,
I think it really is because when the proverbial shit does hit the fan, it's not an explosion necessarily.
It's not.
It starts off and
it's a
the
slow
thing is
build-up.
you kind of it's a slow build up, but the thing is you also know it's coming. Because I guess maybe you definitely have an inkling when Haley Steinfeld's character asked to come inside after going out and talking to everybody knows it's obvious that they're vampires, and it's obvious that when she walks away and he kind of lifts up into the air, it's obvious that something happened. So anybody watching, it's like she's probably
and the vampires do the Lost Boy kind of thing. So there's a lot of callbacks in this movie.
There is. And so you kind of know, you see it coming when she gets Stax alone, you kind of feel, but there's just a slight edge of maybe I didn't
think Stax would get bitten and turned.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't think that would happen at all.
That I did not expect.
And it was
multiple characters to either get turned or die. That's another thing I love about it.
And that's the thing early on when they go outside, they're going to get turned, and you're like, no, don't go out.
Yep.
And then it's soul crushing, it's heart crushing when these characters do go outside or when they do get turned. Then something happens. It's like a coven of vampires that are out for peace and love.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's unique. We always think about vampires being inherently evil, or if they're not being based off inherently evil, you're stuck in this romanticized type of aspect of it, like a Victorian type of thing. Which, give or take, to each their own on that. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't make them fucking sparkle. I will never stop being angry at the existence of that. Anyway, so, but it's a unique experience because on one hand, yes, they're vampires. Yes, they are going to eat you. But at the same time, they're eating you so you can be part of the family. And that's a major point in the film is, I think, to portray the vampires as being that unique sense of who's the real monsters, these vampires, you could see them as an animal, and animals live to feed and multiply and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, these vampires don't care about creed, religion, color. These vampires just want family.
Yeah,
and it's saying that humans are the real monsters.
Right, and the really cool thing, anytime a writer director throws something different at the audience, like when Sammy was reciting the Lord's Prayer.
Yes.
And our lead vampire starts reciting it with him, Our Father who art in heaven.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just fucking great.
Yeah, it is. It is fantastic.
It is, so.
The tropes that are used and not used
Yes.
for this are fantastic. We go into religion, but religion's not
It's
the
not a crutch.
downfall.
It's not a crutch.
Yeah, it's not a crutch for the vampires. It's not necessarily made out to be good or bad in a sense. It's just another thing to propel the story along, and it's more of just it exists, kind of like in real life. It just exists. There's no right or wrong per se with it, because nobody 100% knows, but they don't use it as, oh well, religion's gonna save us all, we've got crosses or preachers or this, that, and the other thing. And
that's one thing we don't see in this film, a cross. We see a preacher, but no cross.
I don't think there's
we
any
see
crosses.
A preacher's son.
Sammy, maybe on the Bible, maybe at the church. I don't know. Anyway, Sammy. Yeah,
I love that.
That was great. It's great. Also, but with tropes, we revert back to using some older vampire tropes, which we're maybe not used to seeing as of recently. Things like you've got to be invited in, which played a big role in the movie, which was used to great effect.
It was.
Loved it.
It was.
We used garlic again, which is another thing.
Yes. But one trope that we have in there that nobody is even thinking about, Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy. Let's talk about the importance of not only the character in the movie and being enjoyable and things like that, his importance in relation to the whole story, and the fact that we talk about in the film how music and people who can create wonderful music have almost a power that is able to touch the veil or go to the other side when it comes to past, present, future,
it's like a synchronicity.
Good, bad, evil. And I mean
synergy. That's
synergy. Yeah,
synergy. Yeah.
And really, what attracts the vampires there in the first place is the music. That's the whole reason they're there. Remick hears the music and he wants to use Sammy. He wants his stories. He wants to be able to. He wants him to be part of the family, so he can possibly. He mentions getting back in touch with his loved ones that have been lost, and
right. And the vampires in this film, when you bite somebody and turn them, their essence comes into you, and then it becomes the collective.
Yeah, it's a I don't want to say it's not 100% a hive mind kind of thing,
right?
But once you become a vampire, your memories and thoughts, everything's shared.
Yeah.
They all know and understand, and that becomes another story plot point to propel the ending of the film.
And the steam locomotive coming in the train station scene, that was a metaphor for you can't stop what's coming.
Yeah. The more about the vampires, I like the vampire effects. They were simplistic.
The eyes.
The eyes, they were really effective.
Yeah.
I like that we used multiple teeth.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have just your two stereotypical, regardless of placement, there wasn't just the two.
He's got long, short, pointy teeth. He's got fangs.
Then they only use this a couple times in the movie, and at first I thought it might be part of them changing into a vampire. But if you notice in a couple sequences when they're about to feed, they start drooling really badly.
Yeah.
And
I thought that was kind of cool.
I thought it was cool too,
because that was gross.
It was gross. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when the chick's like, it's like drooling in Jordan's
as if he
mouth.
wants some, and he's like, "Yeah, of course."
Okay.
My goodness! But yeah, and I tried to watch for that a little bit more, and it doesn't seem like they really used that as part of, the turning ritual, if you will. Right. Basically, if you get bit or killed by them, you basically become one. But it was an interesting touch and something that was unique. Your lead vampire wasn't some shirtless, muscle-bound guy, wasn't some Victorian era suave, romantic,
right? Which vampires are not.
No, and it also wasn't 100% 30 Days a Night or From Dusk Till Dawn either.
Right. It was its own thing.
Yeah, it was its own thing, and I enjoyed it. As simple as it may have been to a certain extent, I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, like I said, it's a different take. It's a different perspective on the vampire mythos.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I totally enjoyed it. Turn that fucker up to 11.
Oh, we're going to crank it to 11. Yeah,
crank it to 11.
Soundtracks, there may be a couple things I like on it, but after that, I haven't really dug a soundtrack. Right. In recent history, there's just not a lot. And especially since I am usually rock and metal type of guy, this is not my jam, if you will. Although I do enjoy blues. But I have been listening to the soundtrack because there's something about the music that is
I know.
attracted me to it. So I've actively been listening to the soundtrack of this film. Both versions, the score,
the music,
and the music itself.
The music is cool in this.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
A huge win, I think, for Hollywood. I think this brings about a big change in Hollywood. Starting last year, we started to see bigger released horror films that were very well done that you normally wouldn't expect. Mm-hmm. And we continuing that trend this year. Yeah. Nosferatu. Big release film. I mean, but we knew we were going to get a period horror piece from Robert Eggers. I mean, we kind of knew that. Period. Nobody, I don't think anybody had Ryan Coogler making this movie on their bingo card for 2025. So I think
I didn't.
Yeah, I think that's a big shift in Hollywood for this movie to exist in itself.
What Hollywood is realizing, they learned in the 30s and the 40s, and they're having to learn it again, that if a studio is going bankrupt, make a fucking horror film. That'll pull you out of your bankruptcy every time. But writers and directors that make horror films are looked down upon by Hollywood.
Yeah. We don't get very often, people like Robert Eggers, Jordan Peele. Just not very often. Those are two of recent memory, but not very often do you get high-end Hollywood filmmakers that get given millions of dollars to make films, making these horror films. And so I think that shift is coming back, and it's not in a negative way. It's not like they're just milling out horror films to mill out horror films and they're big budget pieces of shit. We're getting quality horror films. And so I think that's important. And you could make the argument, well, doesn't that hurt independent horror? And I say no, because that is only creating more chances for the want and need for those films to be made and the opportunities for those filmmakers to break into bigger business.
Right. And right now is a good time for the independent filmmaker because Hollywood is looking for new IPs.
Yeah. Yeah. And this movie is great proof of that. It's hungry for original stories. It's hungry for something new. Yeah. And also another thing I read recently, I know this has been kind of all over the media too, but the deal Coogler made with Warner Brothers about the film reverting back to him after 25 years. It's kind of a big deal for filmmakers too, to be able to strike a deal where they will own the piece of cinema history that they poured their life into for a period of time. And although we don't hear about it as much, so it's not quite as unprecedented as a lot of the stories coming out would have you believe. It does happen. It's not like this is the first time it's ever happened. And I think even Coogler recently talked about that himself. He didn't quite understand why the world's going crazy over it. It's just rather unheard of. It does happen more often than you would think, but it's important for filmmakers to have that. For them to know that that's an opportunity, and for the general public, I think knowing that, they're even more willing to put money from their pocket into these films, because instead of just shoving it into the Hollywood machine, you feel like you're putting that money back into the hard-earned pocket of the filmmakers and the people that made the film possible.
Talking about black directors, they're kind of put into this category that they can only make black films, and that's they do that, but they're making films that appeal to a broader audience, and appeal to I don't know where I'm going with that because
It's
I don't know the territory.
It's
that
a scary
you-
subject. No, and there's nothing wrong. I don't think it's racist in any way, shape, or form to say that the Black and African American filmmakers kind of get put into a pot on their own because there's just not as many as the average
Right.
Caucasian filmmaker or non-U.S. Foreign filmmakers.
Right.
There's just not that many. And then yes, they do get clumped in the fact that they a lot of times are making African American cultural films to put it out there because that's either what they want to do because they want those stories to be told because there's a lack of representation,
Right.
or
Like-
from the general populace, they're expected from the Black community to make those type of films.
Right.
But like you mentioned with Coogler doing here, he is not only making a film for that culture, but he's opening up to a broader audience to
Right.
not only enjoy but to learn and, and
'cause-
experience new things. Like it's a big deal.
Yeah, because there's dialogue in this film that being a white person in America, you don't think about oh, if I accidentally step on a white guy's shoe, what's going to happen? So it does make you think, culture war, and all of that, and the slave trade, and there's a lot of cotton in this film too, and a lot of picking of cotton, and it's 1932 in the film, so it really makes you think about what Black people went through in America.
Yeah, I think it's a great representation of that, and
it's done well. It's not
100%. Yeah. I think it sneaks into that territory where some people would look at some cultural films, whether it be race or sexual orientation, as someone would mark it as using the term woke or something of that thing, where they feel they feel like a certain agenda is being either forced upon them,
right,
or something they're uncomfortable with is put in front of them, and so I think this is going to sneak past the simple-minded that would use a term like calling sinners woke. I think it's going to get past that because it's smarter than that.
It was a slice of history with a horror slant to it, and it's just all around. It was well written and well directed.
Yeah,
well acted.
It is a celebration of culture and music and cinema.
And one thing, this film does deserve an Academy Award for the visual effects.
Oh, God. Bless America. Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan.
Flawless.
Twice.
Seamless.
It's just,
interacting with one another. There's not a single shot in the film where the computer-generated effects took me out of it. And that happens
very
almost all the time. It's very seldom does it not do that.
Right.
But I swear, every film I watch, no matter what it is, there's always one sequence where I'm like, oh, that's really, really hard to ignore.
Yeah.
And they pulled it off in this film, and that's a huge thing. That tells you how much they care about the film and how much hard work was put into this. Even
blood, sweat, and tears.
Even the heavy effects towards the end of the film with the vampire getting killed and fire, and there's a lot of going on, but it looked beautiful.
It did.
I mean, the film looks beautiful in general, and the fact that
there could be. Will it sweep the Oscars?
No,
I don't think so. Not
should it have the chance to be nominated?
Yeah, it should.
Yeah,
because I mean, the music and the sound design in the movie. Great
sound
too.
Design is beautiful. It's wonderful. One thing that really stands out sound wise is I'm gonna go back to that round sequence where they're integrating all the different cultures, but towards the end of that, where he strums a chord and holds his hands up and he's holding out me, and the camera's going out the top of the burning building, and that tone he's holding with the word me slowly turns into other sounds
Right.
and do a guitar tone, and then just this ethereal sound when it comes down, and then it focuses into the vampires.
Right.
That right there, for whatever reason, I don't know why that piece really stuck with me, but just that,
because it's ethereal.
Yeah. It's very ethereal. Like I have a hard time generating in my mind. Not that I have a massive background in film and music and all those things, but I've dabbled in both, and I struggled trying to figure out how that was emulated and done. And I'm sure somebody's going to watch this and be like, "Well, it's pretty fucking simple, you idiot. You just do this, this, and this." But okay, whatever. I don't think it's that simple, and it was a genius stroke to do that, along with the mixing of all the other music. But
right.
This film, it's beautiful, it's dark, it's dirty. It's sweaty. It's sexy.
Nasty.
It's so many things, and it's just a viewing pleasure. I think it's an experience. I can't say that enough. That it's not a film; it's an experience, and I absolutely love it.
And if they're not talking about tongue pleasuring a woman,
oh boy, there's a lot of that.
There's some tongue pleasuring women.
There is. I mean, how often do you experience a preacher boy finding the bean? My goodness. Wonderful film. I can't say that enough. I think we've pretty much gone over as much as we can go over without really beating a dead horse, but we highly recommend the film. For me, so far in 2025, even though there hasn't been a lot, this is the film to beat for me.
So far. Yeah. I would say so too.
I think it's going to stay there. I think it's going to stay there.
Yeah. It'll definitely, it'll probably be on my top 10 list.
Oh, I guarantee there's no way 10 other films are going to come out that blow me away more than Sinners did. It's just impossible. Anyway, I think we've taken up enough of our time and your time. Thank you for joining us. As always, we hope you enjoyed our half and half review of spoiler and non-spoiler, and we hope you come back and enjoy more reviews or top 10 lists or whatever the hell we come up with. Make us your next late night rabbit hole.
Hang on.
Oh!
And we still have yet to open the box. What's in the box? I don't know what's in the box. I just know it came from Spawn Ranch.
Spawn Ranch, and it's definitely not Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
I don't know. It could be.
I mean,
I don't know. So, we're gonna open it one of these days.
Yeah,
I'm not ready to open it yet.
We're not ready.
I mean, it's heavy. Feel that? It's heavy.
Oh, that is heavy.
Yeah, it's very heavy.
It is heavy. Could be.
I hope it
could be so many different things.
I hope it's not an animal, because
I don't think so. I mean, it doesn't stink, and it's not leaking fluids.
Yeah.
Although it could be a body part, could be a book, could be a giant dildo. Who the fuck knows? I have no idea. Could be fossilized shit.
It's heavy.
Let's get the fuck out of here. You guys have better things to do. We don't. But nonetheless, as always, thank you for joining us. Like, share, subscribe. We'll catch you next time.
Get the fuck out. It's the end of the show.
Get out of here. Go watch a movie.
Yeah. Yes.
Go watch a movie.
Go watch Sinners.
Yeah. Go watch Sinners. Jerk off. Bye.
We're gonna kill every last one of you.